Alright. Hello, Kinesiology 57 class. My name is Cody Gregory, and this is my father, Larry Gregory. And this is the interview for someone who is a mentor or has had an influence in someone's life, being mine. And before we start, I'm going to let him introduce himself, his job title, and what he does in the workplace.
As stated, my name is Larry Gregory. I am the California General Sales Manager for Franklin Distillers. Our company produces bottles and labels distilled spirits for various customers, whether that is a retailer like some major chains, and we also do some contract bottling for major spirit companies, and we also do some import and some export business from all various parts of the world. But selling distilled spirits is what I've done now for 21 years with Franklin Distillers.
All right. And on to the interview. The first question would be, how would you define leadership?
I would define leadership and/or a leader as into the word that comes to mind is character. With character, I think it flows downhill from there, meaning that being an example and/or an approachable person within the management team, with results being at the end of the process. But it's a broad question, but I believe that character is at the top of that, mixed with results at the end.
All right. And what are 3 to 4 characteristics of a leader in your opinion?
I believe that a leader is confident. I say confident not to be mistaken for arrogant. I believe that there is a fine line between confidence and arrogance, and that is humility. I believe that a leader has to be approachable from his customers and or the people that work for him and or with him, and the willingness to delegate, to build a team, trust your workers that work for you to accomplish the goals that have been set before them, and then most importantly to come full circle and give credit to those people that you've delegated the projects to.
All right. And what would a typical day be like for you?
Typical day, 6 a.m. In today's technology, with access to emails on your phones. Usually it's a quick check of emails on the phone, based on the fact that some customers are in different time zones, so you make sure that you don't miss anything. Some are working 3 to 5 hours ahead here in the States, and some are even more across the globe. Setting my goals and objectives, tasks at hand. Sometimes it's out in the what we call the field, making sales, calling on customers, ending with office time. Sometimes it's flipped and start my day straight in the office and end it seeing customers to end the day.
And who would you go to for advice, or who would be a mentor of yours?
Be a mentor of mine. I will answer that twofold. On a personal level, which I believe flows over to the business level, I go to my father, who was a blue-collar worker for 45 years, since retired, but managed many teams and many different people. So I do bounce a lot of things off of him in my personal life, which overflows into my business. In my business world, my owner, Vince Maestri, owner of our company, I go to him frequently as far as direction, whether it's how to tackle a project, advice to call on a customer, and just kind of your everyday business questions. I always go to the top.
And what would you say that you enjoy most about your career?
I enjoy most about my career. I enjoy the fact that no 2 days are ever the same in a row. I'm able to travel the world based on our business. I've been fortunate to visit different countries. I love the thrill of the sale, meaning the feeling you get when you've worked on a project and you finally see it come to fruition and on a store shelves or in a customer's location. So I would say the thrill of the sale.
And would you say, or sorry, is it more important to set goals for people underneath you or for yourself in order to be successful?
It's a good question. Definitely the two go hand in hand. I think it's very, whether you want to call them goals and or objectives, or some people call them quotas in the sales world. I believe it's good to set those. Some are on a monthly, quarterly, yearly basis, but it does help keep your team focused and on point, as we call it. And then mixed with that is, very important for me to have my goals that go hand in hand with the people that I delegate them to, so we can all share in the success and create that team atmosphere.
And what would you say that some challenges are in your career, if there are any?
And there are many. If I had to pinpoint one, I would say the competitiveness. The distilled spirit industry is vast, meaning that there's a lot of brands, a lot of products, I should say, on the shelves. The shelf can only hold so many. So we deal with big competitors on a daily basis. So I would say the competitiveness of our industry in general is the biggest challenge.
And what immediately comes to your mind when you hear the word success?
Well, I've been with Franklin 21 years. I would say in the first 10 years, I judged success on the size of my paycheck and the type of car I drove and the size of my house. Since then, and gray-haired and loss of hair and many bumps in the road, and maturity, I should say, I would define that success in accomplishing the goals that were mentioned before, making my team a better team as individuals and as a core of workers for my company, and being a good leader, boss, manager, however you want to define it, to where people enjoy working for me or are proud of working for the company that I represent.
And what advice would you give to aspiring young leaders or people up and coming?
What advice? Do not be afraid to fail. Be smart in your approach. Do not be careless. Work within your limits, but make sure that you don't define failure as just something that didn't work out. There's always different ways to go about it. Use it as a learning experience. Use it as a general learning curve for your career, and always know what your definition of success is before you label it a failure.
And final question. In being a leader, what advice would you give as to how to handle a setback, or what you would call a failure in your career?
Well, again, touched on it in the previous question. It's a failure in at least my industry, in sales and in business, is a gray area. If you didn't complete the sale, maybe you learned on how to make a better presentation, or what you might have missed out on during that to use in a future presentation. Maybe it's better preparation, maybe it's better research, maybe it's the type of cologne you use. Who knows? But just make sure that you always take something away from each experience that you have, that you can break down and add that, re-add that to your foundation for your next venture in the business world. Be proud of who you are, be proud of who you work for, be confident, and break it all down and keep trying, and if not, try again.
All right. Well, that'll do it. Thank you very much for your time, and get back to work.
Okay, I can do that.